Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the highly anticipated event where we cover the most wholly original of the Disney film roster. They may not be animated classics or billion-dollar blockbusters, but for those who grew up with them, the nostalgia factor can't be beat. So, look up your descendants, grab your high school yearbook, activate your smartphone, and get even. Steven. We're taking a trip down memory lane and revisiting some of the most original and memorable Disney Channel original movies. This is
DCOM-ARAMA.
All right. How you doing, Dragon? How you doing?
I'm on the right side of the dirt, Tiki.
All right, but we have a special guest star in the room. Someone who grew up with this film in a way, who definitely discovered a young Zac Efron and gained an affection for him, as we talked about in our interview with her. And oh boy, we're going to turn that Zac Efron love into a full podcast. It's Katie Mary Garland.
Hello.
Welcome to the other half of Zadie.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Katie, how you doing tonight? How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk about this. It's going to bring me back.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Of course, happy late birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So, Dragon, do you want to just dive right into things?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so we'll start with our thesis statements. Dragon, do you want to start? Do you want to lay out the first thesis statement there, buddy?
All right, I'll give it a shot. Okay, so High School Musical 2. Well, overall, I feel High School Musical 2. It's a fun romp. It's kind of the DCOM take on kind of Caddyshack, just more music focused and basically more music focused than comedy focused. That's kind of the vibe I got, and it's so odd because I think this year Caddyshack actually reached the anniversary, reached the milestone. I don't know if it was 30 years or 40 years, but it's been it's probably in the 30-year range. Point being, it's been a while. And there's kind of throwback to this kind of like a little bit of elitism in there, a little bit of like, hey, we're going to kind of this nice kind of vacation-y circumstance, and we're having fun during the summer, a lot of summer fun sort of stuff there. I guess it kind of brings back a little bit of the 50s kind of beach blanket party type stuff. I don't know, it's a little reminiscent of that. But look, to me, this doesn't hold up as much. Basically, this doesn't hold up to as much scrutiny as I remember it when I first saw it. Like, I kind of we've gone to High School Musical 2 for a reason, folks. And it's kind of the high point of the trilogy we kind of found, But again, you have the summer romp setting, and it's supplants some of the high school cliches. So again, this still has some benefits to it, but not as many as I was hoping for.
I also feel like High School Musical 2 was the height of the franchise's popularity.
I don't know. Like, I feel like all three are very popular. But I will say it was right after Zac did Hairspray, so it was like when Zac was like really.
That's what I'm saying. At the very least, it was like kind of the height of like the Zac Efron craze. Like Zac Efron was definitely the new kid on the block. Like, oh my god, he's so handsome and charming, and he's never ever gonna play a serial killer.
No, never. Terrorist.
That's
Look
never
at that
gonna
mop
happen.
top. That's not the mop top of a killer. Look at it.
But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Katie, why don't you give us your thesis statement about the movie?
Gosh, I don't know if I can top that. I just think it's okay. So High School Musical is a fun summer like musical rom-com. But that also like has a good message about like friendship and loyalty, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah, Dragon, I don't know, man. This movie doesn't really hold up to scrutiny, but I don't really care. That's the thing. I think this movie holds up a lot better than Descendants does. I'm going to be frank about that. Uh, my issue with the lip syncing, like, yeah, the lip syncing is still a little off. It's still there, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as in Descendants. And I just
Or even the first High School Musical, it was like so auto-tuned and so lip syncy that like it's hard to enjoy it. But the second one, you could tell they really like upped their production value, and it's really Zach singing. Whereas in the first one, that wasn't his voice.
yeah, definitely. I think the second one they really made an attempt to up the production values and it shows. And I just think the choreography in this movie is just absolutely off the charts. I mean, what can I say? This is just a movie where it's like I am a guy who likes well choreographed dance numbers. This
Yeah,
movie gave me well choreographed dance numbers. What do you want from me? I really like it. I mean,
Kenny Ortega was the like choreographer who has like done he had been doing it forever.
mhm.
I think did like Footloose or something too. Like he did Newsies. He helped like even with some of Michael Jackson's choreography.
Uh-huh.
He did like Cheetah Girls, Hannah Montana, like that Dirty Dancing. So that choreographer like really knew what he was doing. And
As
also
a regular dub pussy, one could say.
yeah, and I think also like he kind of knew what they could do now. You know what I mean? Like I remember watching interviews and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I didn't give them too much in the first one because I'm sure like they didn't have as much time to rehearse and stuff." And yeah, I remember like he was saying like now I like after the third one he was like now I look at them as actor/dancers, not actors that I'm trying to teach to dance or something like that. I remember that was like in the behind the scenes when it used to air on Disney Channel.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like this movie a lot, man. Does it strike a chord with me emotionally? Not really. I This is basically kind of laying out the same thing with Descendants. It's like, is it really corny? Yeah, sure. Are the characters kind of wooden? Yeah, sure. But it's but it's still it's really fun. It's charming. It's got a corny, like nostalgic sensibility to it. And like I said, this thing is like it's super well produced. I mean, I respect that about it at the very least. Like I said, at the very least, the dance numbers are just insanely well choreographed, and just it's got a level of energy to it, and more importantly, it's got a level of positivity to it that I respect. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's a good movie.
I agree.
All right. Also, want to welcome Pink Pearl Disney Wishes in the comments, who's showing up there. Welcome. Anyway,
Hey there,
so
Pink Pearl.
speaking of the Disney Channel factoids, it kind of brings up some nostalgic feelings. So perhaps we should kind of let's talk about how we feel at High School Musical as a whole. I mean, like how do we get introduced to this thing anyway? Like specifically this movie, but overall, like how has High School Musical into the fray for you guys?
Wait, say that again.
How does High School Musical enter the fray for you guys? Like, how do you come across it in this one specifically? So,
How did I come across it?
yeah, like what's your ties to High School Musical, Katie?
Okay, well, okay, this is actually a story. So I studied abroad the summer it came out in Spain. And as soon as I got back to America, I was like, I just need to go to the movies because I'm just like, I miss that about America. And I went and saw Hairspray and fell in love with Zac Efron and was like, who is this guy? And went and like the next day, like went to Target and bought the first High School Musical that I'd like heard about, but you know, it came out when I was either like late high school or maybe even early college. So it was a little like past my time of watching Disney Channel. And I watched it and I'm like, oh, like, yeah, that's cute, but you know, not my favorite. But then when I saw High School Musical 2 was coming out, it was literally like premiering on Disney Channel right when I was getting my wisdom teeth out. So I was gonna like have to be on like, you know, bed rest for like a few days. And I remember I was like on all these pain pills and I kept like trying to watch it, but I kept falling asleep because the medicine was just making me really tired. But luckily it was like just replaying over and over and over. So I think I started it like 5 times before I like was actually made it through because I wasn't falling asleep because of the meds I was on. And I was just like so like enamored by Zac Efron. I like made my dad watch it. And he was like, well, I don't know if I wanted to, but he wasn't into it.
You're the one saying, Katie, you can't marry a man you just watched in a movie. You can't do that.
He was like, wait, this blonde girl's trying to help him and he would rather just like hang out with his friends. I was like, that's not the point. Anyways, that's my tie to High School Musical.
Yeah, honestly, High School Musical was kind of an enigma to me in high school. I didn't really know all that much about it. But then when I got into theater, oh man, it was like all over that all over that scene, like songs from it, you know, of course we the Go Together song. I'm sorry, I'm not.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together. Yeah, that was a big kind of like anthem for my high school theater group. Stuff like that. Of course, Zac Efron was a big deal at the time. But the thing that I remember the most, the main thing that I want to bring up for nostalgia purposes, and just kind of as a side story in my own right, is the amazing technical achievement at Disney's California Adventure that was the High School Musical Wildcats Pep Rally.
What?
Oh boy. Oh boy. So, yeah, this was basically a street parade that would go through California Adventure. And it would essentially like cause this whole traffic jam of people like on the walkways. You know, like you couldn't walk past it. You had to kind of just walk around it very awkwardly. But basically what it was this, it was basically what it said it was. It was like this pep rally, and I believe they had like cheerleaders and probably like choreographed basketball dancers and stuff like that. But yeah, that was kind of like mostly my nostalgic tie to the franchise until I saw, ironically enough, kind of similar to Katie, this movie. Like, you know, Katie, of course, I didn't see the first movie before I saw this movie, unlike you. But I was familiar with the songs. I was familiar with kind of like what it was through my high school drama class. And then I saw this movie on Disney Channel just kind of randomly one night. I happened upon it. I was like, oh, you know what? I should probably watch it. I should probably give it a chance. My high school drama friends like it. And I got to admit, I was impressed with it. You know, it was one of those things where it's like, oh man, you know, it's like I kind of like this more than I probably should for a testosterone-ridden boy at my age. And but at the end of the day, I think that's kind of it. You know, I just High School Musical 2 was sort of the pinnacle of the franchise. And ironically enough, I still haven't seen High School Musical 3. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah.
You got to. It's like if you think the production value is good in 2, I mean, it's even better in 3.
I'll have to check it out.
That was the one that actually came out in theaters, so they really upped their game.
All right. So let's see. Dragon, I believe you have some background.
Well, I had a little nostalgia too, but
oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Nostalgia, the background.
Okay, real quick though, Pink Pearl Disney Wishes has some comments I'd like to relay here that do relate to our topic. You're saying I barely remember this movie. I remember it was decent. To be fair, I remember Sharpay's movie more, but this DCOM and the others that after came after I hit 16. They had hits and misses then. So okay, it's very interesting.
Wait. Did Sharpay have her own movie, or is it referring to High School Musical 1?
Sharpay. Wait, Sharpay didn't have like a spin-off. That's what you're saying?
Well, that's what's in the comment here. It's either I thought Sharpay, didn't she get like a spin-off of some kind? I don't know if it was a movie. I thought she had like maybe it was like a special or something.
You're right. She had Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. I never saw that.
Neither did I. That's one. That's one thing.
When was that?
Probably after 3, I'm guessing.
I'd imagine they're trying to milk the franchise.
Wait, so yeah, it had to have been after. It had to have been.
Fabulous being the operative word, has to be Sharpay.
Oh man. Oh, of course.
Was it Ashley Tisdale?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm assuming it's Ashley. I'm just saying yes. That is who that plays. I mean, obviously you know that. I don't know why I'm saying it.
Because so the way the third one ended, you could tell they were setting up for a fourth with the younger kids.
They actually were planning a series, and I forget they're still planning that. For,
they are still planning a series.
Right.
Right.
That's
also,
casting right now.
I think Pearl Apple brings up the whole, High School Musical is 2000's kids Grease, is the 2000 kids Grease.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to say it. Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, a little factoid here. With the first High School Musical, did you know originally the High School Musical is built upon a abandoned Grease 3 script? Did you guys know that?
Wait, really?
I don't know how official that is, but that's what the word is. That there was a script for Grease 3. Because remember, folks, there was a Grease 2. No one likes to talk about it, but
because it was terrible. The second Grease was so bad.
Yep.
I want a cool rider. That's the only part I remember.
And Alan, poor Alan Carr. Anyway, so point being, it was like I guess there was a third one in the works. Like always in Hollywood, there's always a sequel script floating around somewhere, and they were gonna. I guess it just kind of fell into some hands, and they were like developing. Basically, they used the outline of, like, again, I guess it's in another high school yet again. So they figured, okay, we're probably putting on a musical, and I guess that's where they got the idea from. They just kind of switched out the characters and such.
No, I did not know that. You really did your homework.
Yeah, I like the dazzle. I don't have to tell you. Anyway, so my nostalgia, real simple, real quick, is this. I oddly enough, I saw the first 2 films in school. Oddly enough, for really ridiculous, really odd reasons. I remember seeing the second one a little bit more. I can't recall how I saw the I think I saw the first one in a music class. I think that's where I saw the first one. The second one's odd. There's more unique one. I think it's why I remember it a little more fondly, because it's just such a weird situation where I was watching it. It was in a lab setting. It was either in health class or it was either in science. One of the two was health or science, where I was showing. I think it was like a substitute or someone came in for the day. It was like a sub day sort of thing. I don't know what. It's like this just plays like, oh yeah, I think I was playing on Disney Channel.
It's like, okay, kids, this is high school. Why not? You can learn something. You can get something out of it.
Exactly. You see like a weird kind of like a mulligan of a day. It's like, okay, well, we're watching High School Musical 2 today. I mean, I'm kind of taken in by what I like about the sequel. Where again, I like the summer setting. It's like, oh man, this looks really nicely composed. Look at all this stuff. Like by the pool, the golf course, we're kind of going upscale with it. Then we're getting out of the high school for a change. It's kind of nice. I mean, it kind of defeats the title premise years later, looking back at, why did I like this one more than the other one? It's not even in high school. Why am I gravitating towards this one? I don't know.
I think it's because like the dance numbers are just like better. At least that's like why I liked it. And also like in the first one, it's been so long since I've seen the first one, but I'm pretty sure in the first one, the Corbin Bleu who plays Chad and the Monique something who plays Taylor, like I don't think they even sing in that. I think all the songs were just the core 4, like Troy, Gabriella, Sharpay, and Ryan.
Yeah, they do that game time song, don't they? Well, I guess
the second one, it's I Don't Dance, and Corbin Bleu like has his, he has his moment, and he like you know, and he sings in the All for One at the end, and he sings in What Time Is It? But yeah, in the first one, like maybe he sings here and there, but he definitely doesn't have like a like huge verse and stuff like he did in the second one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they just I mean, just the dance numbers, just everything was just better.
I mean, my thoughts overall on just High School Musical as a concept, and the reason, I don't know, maybe I always fear I kind of skew a little negatively towards High School Musical looking back at it. Because here's the thing. I mean, to me, I mean, again, my views haven't changed too much on this, but I think overall, just the best comparison I have is that in regards to where High School Musical falls in kind of the Disney Channel original movie kind of eras, if you will, this is kind of the Kids Bop era of the DCOMs. You know, it's kind of like if we're coming out of Kids Bop, where like we can't.
I don't know if that's entirely fair.
Well, I'm just saying, and that's at least how I used to view it, and that's why High School Musical was never like on my radar that much because like it's like basically we're kind of selling the single more than the movie. Basically, we're selling the single. Sorry, we're selling the singles via the movie. We're selling like we're selling the songs and everything. But again, I kind of re-examining it. I guess High School Musical just kind of like it kind of built this momentum from the success of the first one. It's kind of mudballed after like going down a mountain. So like, oh my god, look, it's coming right at you. It's just bigger than ever. It's in theaters now. Wow. I mean, again, I had a better time with this one than I guess kind of the Romeo and Juliet kind of modern day Grease with cliques in high school. I guess that maybe that's why on some level. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think also, I have to say, just Zac Efron's just way hotter in the second one too.
Before we get into it, because I want to mention this too, because it's also about putting on production and everything. It's you know what movie Zac Efron really dazzled me in for the first time way back when.
Can I guess?
Yes, guess.
Because this is the answer for I feel like a lot of people. 17 again.
That was fun, but not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That's a good one though. I won't lie because I think that one maybe that came. I think that came a year. It was either a year before or after the one I'm thinking of. Because the one thing of is me and Orson Welles. I really like that one.
Oh, a lesser known Zac one.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm big. I do enjoy Orson Welles, especially the Orson Welles biopics, and that's a really good one. It's about Orson Welles during his theater years, like when he kind of started the Mercury. I think it was the Mercury Theater. The point being, he starts there, and he and Zac Efron, I forget what the actor's name is. It's Christian something or other. So they have this actor playing Orson Welles, and basically it's about the dynamic the two of them had, where he was the scene partner in one of the big premiere scenes of the play he was putting on, and the idea is like you get to see kind of the golden boy alongside Orson Welles, who's basically just like terrifying everybody else into submission during the production. It's like he's kind of taking me under his wing, but he's also kind of terrifying me. And of course, things happen. They're very Orwellian, let's say. But Orson Welles, you know what I mean. I can't say Orwellian because that's something entirely different. But anyway, all reminiscing aside, I highly recommend that to you, Katie. You've seen that one, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, I don't remember loving it though, but maybe I'll give it a rewatch.
All right. Well,
doesn't it have kind of like a sad ending or something?
Well, I mean,
I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it.
That's what you're asking. It's not like really that sad, but I mean, I don't know. It's not exactly a chipper ending, but I don't know. I think it's a fitting end, but it's been a while since I've seen it, so it might be a little dodgy. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking this right now.
I gotta tell you guys really quick, the movie that I saw Zac Efron's comedy chops in, it wasn't Neighbors, because Neighbors I thought was just okay.
Was it Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates?
No, it was actually Neighbors 2.
Oh.
I like Neighbors 2 a lot more than I like the original Neighbors, and I love Zac Efron's character in that one where he's kind of just this wily, like, he's the former villain who's trying to now help out the heroes, to get back at the ultimate sorority villains. And I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker for those plots of like the villain from the first movie then turning around to help the heroes in the second movie. I'm a sucker for those types of plots, so I love Zac Efron's kind of like roguish heel turn in Neighbors 2.
Katie, if I'm not mistaken, you saw someone special at the premiere of that, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Okay, so when I went to go see Neighbors, after the trailers played, the lights come on, and I just hear Seth Rogen on the mic being like, "Ha ha ha! Hey guys!" He was at the ArcLight with Zach and Dave Franco and McLovin. God, what's his real
I
name?
mean, you got a Franco too?
Yeah, Dave Franco. Yeah,
I know, but still, it's Franco, darn it.
yeah, they were
And
all.
then you're thinking of Christopher Mintz-Platz.
Yes, they were all there, and I was like, and I had heard they were at this like earlier screening at the Grove that I almost went to, but I wanted to wait for my friend Miranda DeMeo because she also like loves Zach to get off work. So I was like, okay, well, we'll go later at the ArcLight, and then I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed them. I was gonna go to that one, and then they happened to be at the later one at the ArcLight that we went to, and Miranda actually like pretended like she was going to the bathroom when she left. I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna do that. Like, but yeah, they were all there at the ArcLight. It was so cool. I'm like, ah, good for you guys.
A small world after all. What do you know?
Yeah, it was so cool. You guys know I love Seth Rogen and I love Zac Efron. So I remember like I was already quoting Neighbors just from like the previews, like before it came out. And same with Neighbors 2, like because I remember from the trailer they were like trying to spell sorority and they're like SORTITY. And she's like, sorority? The titty is silent. I remember like already quoting that before I even saw the second Neighbors. Oh, nostalgia.
Oh yes. All right. So let me disposit a little bit of background on High School Musical 2, the little that remains. Suppose, and of course, Katie, if I'm missing anything substantial here, I hope you'll correct me here because I think you're going to know a little bit more than I am on this. But just just to go through again.
Do you want me to stop you or come in at the end?
At the end, you just kind of
Okay.
like it's like, and you forgot this, Mr. Factoid. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, yeah. So of course you have High School Musical is Kenny Ortega's baby. One could say. This came out in 2007 after the first one, which I believe was 2006 is when the first one came out. Again, like that. I don't know if they rushed into the production, got the okay, or maybe just took within a year to make it. Because sometimes there's like a delay in getting it made. In this case, it sounds like it's pretty much like, oh, we had massive success with this. Because that's the thing, High School Musical, the first one, my knowledge, that film was kind of this unprecedented hit. Like from my understanding, I think the first one still set the record for like the most viewed DCOM in the history of the DCOMs. At least I don't know if it's been beaten. Like I know Descendants didn't beat the record as in terms of a current example that might have a shot at it, but I mean beyond that, I think High School Musical, the first one, is still unprecedented. Just the amount of success and a lot of hit songs. Like I think it's been on some Billboard charts. I mean, the point being, it's up there in a lot of really noteworthy songs. Sold a crap load of CDs. And as Katie said earlier, again, to Kenny Ortega, and we kind of mentioned this too with Descendants, because Katie, I don't know if you know this, Ortega, he directed Descendants too. He directed, and there's so many Descendants movies, he's directed the first Descendants. I'm going to presume the other one as well. So the point is all Kenny Ortega, baby, all Ortega.
Mm.
So from what I understand, Ortega, he's been working ever since. Like the most notable thing I can think of, he worked his way from choreographer, both choreographer and director on things. And he started as a choreographer on Ferris Bueller. I don't know if that was the first thing, the big thing they did. And of course, Ferris Bueller, we got the big, the Donkashay and the twist and shout. It's a lot of big choreography.
That twist and shout segment in particular is just insane in Ferris Bueller.
It's wonderfully crazy. Of course, he directed Newsies, Hocus Pocus, another big Disney one, and let's see, of course, Descendants, as I already said. So, the second time around, Zac Efron, I believe he did his own singing this second time around. Not sure as to why.
He did.
Yes, Katie, do you know why?
Yes. Okay. So, well, this is all according to like things that I've read. But so in the first one, they did, according to what I read, like on an interview years ago, I'm pretty sure Zach was like, my voice wasn't like poppy enough for Disney. So that's why they didn't use his voice in the first one. But when they were, had such a big success, and so Zach was, and he was more of a name, and he was kind of like, okay, like I'll do it, but I want, like, he was the one that put his foot down and was like, I want to use my voice this time. And they were like, okay, that's what you want, Zach, because he could kind of call the shots at that point,
Mr. Efron, I'm so sorry. Yes. What do you say?
Like, you couldn't have High School Musical without Zach. You just couldn't do it.
Okay, so this was a 7-week shoot. They actually shot a real country club. I believe it's called the Entrada or something. It's basically this. I think it's around like the Snow Canyon Country Club. Entrada. I don't know exactly where that. I don't know where that is. Yeah.
I think it's Utah where they filmed, but I could be wrong.
I think you're. I know they shot something in Utah. I don't know if it was like. I don't know if that's where the club is at or not. I'm going to assume so because that sounds about right. But yeah. And of course, this thing, you got some. There are a lot of really big setups on this. So, like some shots, some songs, like "Bet On," for example. "Bet On" took 6 days to shoot, from what I heard.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it took 6 days to do that one. So, again, they're really meticulous with the sequences and specifically the songs and the dance numbers and vice versa, as you'd imagine. Again, it's, getting everything just properly timed and shot and everything. Of course, like getting it all in one shot too. Some of them there are a few one-ers in it. Don't run a lot of edits, but still, yeah. Sometimes you have some one-ers like the big chorus lines, I guess. And of course, there was an extended edition and a stage show because I believe the first two got a stage show.
Yeah, you mean like when they went touring?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but it is the end of my knowledge. Katie, you get anything else? By all means,
I'm pretty sure that they had like a High School Musical tour, but Zach wasn't on it. It was the guy that was his like singing voice, Drew something, did the Troy songs, and I think that's probably because Zach was like shooting Hairspray, and he was busy.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the plot here. Let me just, for anyone who hasn't seen it because it's been a while, and I understand if maybe you couldn't find it after a while. Let me just kind of summarize the gist of what High School Musical 2 is all about here. I'm just going to try to keep it nice and simple here. So, well, it goes a little something like this: it's summer vacation for the East High Wildcats and company. Troy's stressing out about college tuition, about the future in general, and Sharpay is trying to get Troy under her thumb, as she tends to do. Which leads to landing him a job at her family's country club, Lava Springs. But the rest of the gang, tags along to Sharpay's dismay in a big way, big dismay. Summer shenanigans ensue. Troy gets promoted and kind of gets a taste at the kind of the elitist treatment. Kind of is welcomed amongst the kind of the upper crust of the Olympus, if you will. Everybody else is kind of they're working as staffers at the place. All of them simultaneously working on the big talent show, the annual talent show that Sharpay and Ryan ordinarily win and do together. But Ryan has been betrayed, joins the Wildcats. Troy has a wake-up call, thanks to Gabriella and company. Eventually kind of leverages Sharpay into getting his friends re-entered into the talent show again, saving the day. It ends in a big summer dance party like most DCOMs. And that's the movie.
Yep.
All right, so we have to talk about, sorry, Katie, we have to talk about the one, the only, Mr. Wait for it. It'll be worth it. The payoff's going to be huge, Morty. All right, let's talk about Troy.
Yeah.
That's it's the crescendo.
Yeah, with the basketballs, yeah.
It's like a Buzzley Berkeley number with basketballs. That's what it looks like. He's the flower, and the rest are surrounded by basketballs.
I don't know. I just
Aw.
really, I just really like Efron's like "come at me" pose.
Yeah, that's right when he like did the mic drop, I think, but with the
Yeah,
ball. He just,
yeah.
like
He's
dropped the
shaking the
mic
Elvis
ball.
pose at the end of a number here. It's like, yeah, he's just making the spread eagle pose.
You know what's
All right.
funny is like Vanessa Hudgens, her outfits get like less conservative and less conservative throughout the 3 movies.
Really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like in the first one, she's like very conservatively dressed
Oh
the
yeah.
whole time, like jeans, like tops that don't show any cleavage, or like her legs are very covered, like long dresses. And then in the third one, she is in the shortest dresses. Like there's one part where Zach like picks her up and like, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see her ass. Anyways, I was just, I don't know why my mind went there.
No judgments here, Katie. No judgments here. Anyways, let's talk about the big TB himself. Let's talk about Troy Bolton.
All right. Katie, would you like to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, you want me to talk like just about his journey in the movie, or
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
What happens to Troy
exactly.
here? How do you feel
Exactly.
about the progression of Troy
What
Bolton?
poetic arc does Troy Bolton go on throughout the course of said film?
well, he is starting to worry about college, and like he really wants to get a basketball scholarship, and yeah, him and Vanessa are still dating, and they're all happy because she doesn't have to move away. And so Sharpay obviously likes Troy, doesn't like that he's dating Gabriella. And so she gets him the job at the country club because she's the member there. She like calls that Bolton guy and is like, hire him, basically. And Zach's like, cool, yeah, I'll come work there, but you should meet and hire all my friends. So
Wildcats, yeah.
and,
Wildcat summer reunion.
yeah, and he even like is like telling his parents like, yeah, won't summer jobs look good on college applications? And like, so he's very worried about college. And then Sharpay kind of, she's annoyed that they all work there, but she still is pursuing him, and she gets him like meeting guys on the college basketball team where he wants to go, like I can't remember the college, but it's a made up one. It's like University of something.
American Samoa.
Yeah, so it's like a very generic name. And yeah, and then she like gets him to a dinner with like a talent scout and like the coach and like all these basketball players, and he is doing all this, and his friends who are also on the basketball team are, they're getting jealous that he is getting opportunities. They're getting jealous that he's getting to like eat dinner with these people while they're having to wait on him. And he keeps having to like cancel dates with Vanessa. So she eventually breaks up with him.
You don't cancel dates with Vanessa.
Life keeps getting in the way. I actually do love their breakup song, even though it's sad. It's a really good song. Gotta go.
Okay, Katie, I gotta tell you, one of the moments I'm surprised you didn't pick
Mm-hmm.
was Troy's epic, like angry, I've got to change myself, like like just running and singing, you know what I mean? Like the passion in there.
On it when he's on the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy for me, to be honest. I mean, I know that's like the plot, like that's the movie or whatever, but I was just like, what is happening? Yeah. So yeah. Then he has that moment where he realizes like his like trying to get into college and his ambition is ruining his all his relationships. So he basically is like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be promoted. I'm not going to be like the caddy. I'm going to work in the kitchen with my friends. And then they all come together at the end and they're all friends.
Because we're all in this together.
Yeah. Although they say in the end of the second one, it's all for one.
You know, it's weird. When I go into this movie with Troy here, I'm kind of more on his side. I just had this thing where like, you know what, I really think he needs to change. I gotta be honest. I mean, what was he really doing wrong here?
I agree with you. Like, because if I look at it from my perspective, like if I'm getting offered to like have meetings with like agents and casting directors, and like I'm not going to be like, sorry, I have to go work in the kitchen with my friends.
Right. I totally hear you. I think we're all simpatico on this.
Yeah, and if my friends get mad at me and my boyfriend breaks up with me over it, fuck them.
Yeah, I kept having that throughout the movie.
Yeah, and I will say, like the first time I watched it, I didn't like think about it.
You Corbin Blue, what's your problem?
But it was my dad that was like, he was the one that was like, wait, so he's at a dinner with this hot blonde girl who's introducing him to talent scouts.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be like, sorry, bro, I have to go and work with my friends in the kitchen. I was like, such a good point. Like,
it's honestly a terrible life lesson.
I know, that's what my dad was saying. My dad's like, I don't like that. That's like the message that kids are.
Hey, I don't know your old man, but I tell you, I think he's really kind of intuitive when it comes to this. Maybe deep down he's really intuitive into High School Musical.
Yeah,
maybe that's
me and my dad have very similar like movie tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like. So my favorite, like one of my favorite cheesy rom-coms is She's the Man. My dad loves that movie.
The Amanda Bynes one, right?
Yes, I made him watch that with me and he was laughing out loud.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so if I ever say I like a movie, he'll like give it a shot. So he gave it a shot. But yeah, he was not a fan of this one.
So the thing with Troy for me is that Troy, he kind of seems like the straight arrow, kind of the old American, kind of good kid, kind of our square in a good way, where he's just everybody, oddly enough, Troy is like he's like freaking catnip in these High School Musical movies. Like everybody wants Troy, everyone's obsessed with this kid. He's well liked, he's endearing. I mean, the kid is endearing. I'll give him that. Again, that might be the Efron charm kind of rubbing off on there. Maybe that's probably the majority of what that is. The point being, he's I mean, I like that. My favorite thing about this character, I love that he kind of takes responsibility every time he and Gabrielle get in trouble. And of course, it's like Fulton being instructed to kind of like, get her on infractions, man, get her out of there.
Yeah.
I love that, he has taken responsibility, and, like he's sticking by his guys when he can there, but again, it's just the deck is stacked against him. He's essentially he's like a face card. He's like the face card that everybody wants. If we're using the bet, I'm gonna weave you kind of a bet on thing, really kind of a gambling comparison here. So Troy is the face card that everybody wants. He's which kind of leads to him ultimately kind of questioning his identity of like, what am I? What's right for me? Because people keep telling me what, because I'm being pulled in all these directions here where Sharpay wants me for her ends. However, by the same token, she's kind of forwarding my future, which is what I'm worried about right now. My friends aren't really acting very friendly. They're kind of shutting me out here. And again, Troy's not in the wrong at all here, but the kid just has too much pressure thrust upon his shoulders, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's aside from like kind of the moral just being a little ambiguous towards the end there of like, yeah, are we really saying a good thing at the end here?
Yeah, and it's like also like it's kind of shitty that his friends like didn't understand like why he was blowing, because it wasn't like he was blowing them off to like party. He was blowing them off for opportunities. So I would hope like if that was I know if that was me and my friends, they'd be like, oh yeah, no, like go.
Yeah, exactly for sure.
Yeah. It's like, don't be jealous, be happy. And by the way, like the real Zac Efron, it's kind of like the real Zac Efron, like he didn't go tour with them. He started, doing real movies, or not real movies, but he blew up because he was taking opportunities. And if he had done what Troy did, and like I got to hang out with my High School Musical cast, he wouldn't be Zac Efron. Like,
okay, basically, if he hadn't done what Troy did, then he'd be like playing country fairs, like or county fairs, like Corbin Blue is.
Oh God!
Yep. Oh God! You're so right.
He would not be Zac Efron.
Poor Corbin Blue.
I know. I like IMDb'd him before we hopped on, and I will say I think he's just trying to do the music thing is what it seems like.
Yeah.
But he has done like episodes here and there of like shows. Like he's worked more than me. Like I'd take his career, but yeah. Oh, he was on One Life to Live, 40 episodes.
Oh man.
But yeah, he's fine. He's not playing country fairs. He's fine.
So one last thing, Troy, I wanted to mention too is that I like how he looking at the grand arc of what he went through. And I'm thinking it's been a while since I've seen the first one here, but I mean I could be. I want to say Troy's arc kind of from movie to movie is that he was a guy who kind of was really kind of he was kind of mono-focused. He was focused on the one thing. And mainly on sports, and of course, me and Gabrielle and everything kind of opened his eyes to new possibilities and kind of finding kind of comfort. Basically, he found a little bit of love with Gabrielle, and he found a deeper sense of himself. And then, I'm capable of more than one thing. I shouldn't be boxed into the one thing. And this movie, yet again, kind of challenges that sense of self. And by the very end, again, he finds a balance again, whether it's an ethical balance or not. I'll leave that to a higher power. But I mean, the point being, he does find a sense of self that's on his own terms by the end, where he made the choice and he kind of orchestrated the choice. So I mean, I think it's kind of Troy's kind of arc of a sense of self, maybe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Sure.
All right, unless you want to gush on Efron, you guys.
I think I've gushed enough on him.
All right, so let's talk about Gabriella Montez.
Ugh.
All right,
Man, the gut factory just stopped there, didn't I? I'm getting perceiving some feelings here.
I'm just jealous. Like, frankly, I'm just jealous. Like, she got to date Zac Efron. She got to star in 3 movies with him. Like, so it's really hard for me to have like a.
Katie, my question to you is: do you think that the whole relationship drama in this movie was warranted on her end? Do you think the whole song about like, oh, I need to go away and find myself and maybe in another life we can be together. Oh wait, 5 minutes later we're together.
Was important in the first one, darn it.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's overreacting a little bit. But, in her defense, they're playing like 16, 17-year-olds. And at that time...
I don't know, man. They look like they're like at least in their early 20s.
You know what? I'm pretty sure for them, it's the summer in between junior year and senior year.
That makes sense. I can buy that.
Yeah, because the third one is senior year.
Senior year, yeah.
So they're like, although... God, well, okay, they're 16. I'm going to say they're 16, maybe 15, because I remember her mom was like picking her up after that break.
That's true. Yeah, I made a note of that as well.
Yeah, so maybe she's even 15, or playing 15. But so here's the thing, like when I was in high school, when my first boyfriend blew me off, like my high school boyfriend blew me off for friends or whatever, like I overreacted because it's high school and you don't like think about it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, she reacted probably how any other high school girl would react.
Except I assume there wasn't dramatic choreography and background music behind you, Katie. I mean, I don't know these things. I'm just kind of assuming.
No, it's a very just passive aggressive. Fine, go.
She's kind of just told what to think by everyone if you really look at the movie, because everyone's just telling her, Gabriella, Troy's hanging out with Sharpay, and he's blowing off.
And I will say that's what would piss me off too. And actually, my high school boyfriend was really guilty of this too. He was like Mr. Popular, like he was no Zac Efron, but like he was very popular, and he got like best looking in the yearbook. Like he was, a lot of girls liked him, and I will say, like, I would get pissed off if he was like, he never like cheated or anything, but he would like be too friendly with girls that I knew liked him, and that
he was flirtatious.
Well, he just like was nice.
He was showing off his Italian golf shoes.
Yeah, he was like he would be nice to them, and I'm like, no, you gotta shut it down. Like, be like, I have a girlfriend. So
put on the blinders, man.
That really would piss me off if he was blowing me off if Troy was blowing me off for Sharpay. Like, again, it's not really worth like breaking up over, in my opinion. But
well, like you said, I think the argument is you would be happy about his opportunities. Like, I think you'd be more sympathetic about the fact that he's getting these opportunities than Gabriella would be.
Of course, if I knew he was blowing me off because the pretty girl was, I mean, and she's gorgeous too, but if a pretty blonde girl was getting him meetings with talent scouts, I would understand. Yeah, I would be a little snippy about like, was Sharpay there? But but again, yeah, I would not break up over
I mean,
that.
the weird thing is, Gabriella seems cool with everything, but her friends just are kind of like this, like Taylor specifically. She's kind of this earworm saying, like, I keep seeing him, like, she's up to something.
Taylor's a weird one. Taylor's not really going to fit in with the Wildcats per se. So, Katie, let's lump Taylor in here. What do you think of Taylor?
Well, she was like actually very. She was like the oldest one in real life. I want to say she was like 30 by the one.
Oh no! Oh dear God!
By the time they shot the third one, I mean that's exaggerating, but I do know she was like quite a bit older than the whole cast. And Chad Corbin Blue was the youngest of the cast, so I always thought it was weird that they were like supposed to be together because she was
right, yeah,
5 or 6 years older than him. Sorry, but what's the question? Do I like her?
Yeah, how do you feel about like Taylor's role in this? She just seems kind of muddy things up a little bit. She seems a little.
She's a complainer. Like, calm down.
She muddies the waters.
Yeah, she does. Like, she's like an instigator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's no Sharpay, but yeah, and you can tell she like has a good heart. But
oh yeah, sure. I mean, she means well, but still, she's basically here's the thing we do with her is that she's kind of like she serves the role of like that musical character. Like she's the musical high school character where you have that that person who's always like the gossip. Where again, it's built into the high school mentality where we need some exposition. We need someone to be the witness. So like, hey, Gabrielle, look what's going on. Open your eyes, man, to instigate either a song or instigate a plot point.
Yes. I mean, it's again, we forget because they do look older and they are older. We forget they are supposed to be playing high school. So, I was definitely more gossipy in high school too. Just I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm agreeing with you.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
By all means, hey,
I'm just playing, devil's advocate here.
All right. Anything else to say about Gabriella?
I mean, overall, it's just Vanessa Hudgens playing to her strengths, kind of being all cute and friendly like, and so she's the lifeguard, she's the lifeguard who wants to spend the summer with her boyfriend, but her boyfriend's busy.
Who knows?
I mean, that's the thing. She really doesn't. She's not she's not really a focus at all in this, and I think that was kind of maybe a disadvantage to things. I don't know. The point is, like,
I honestly feel like the plot of this movie feels a little bit shackled. It's almost like a Back to the Future 2 situation. It's like, okay, well, the guy and the girl got together at the end, so what are they going to do? Make cutesy lovey eyes at each other for 90 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't like they had to break up because they have to get back together. I mean, like
Katie, let me ask you this. Spoiler alert. In High School Musical 3, is there a dramatic like Troy and Gabriella break up but then get back together bit?
Duh.
Of course.
Let me guess. This is like across. I'm just gonna take it. It's been forever since I've seen High School Musical 3. So honestly, I'm very, very spotty on it. But let me throw this at you, okay? So Troy and Gabrielle take a whole like, but I'm moving, Troy. We're gonna go to different schools, or we don't know what the future's gonna bring. We can't be together.
So what happens is she's really smart. Remember, she's like very smart, and so Sharpay like applies for her to go to like Harvard or Stanford, but like early. And she like has to go like do this like summer or like just do this program. And so she like before high school is over, like again, huge plot hole. Like like there is like going to college in the summer before, but like there's no college. It's like, sorry, you have to miss the last month of high school and come here.
So pretty much it's a stretch to say the least.
Yeah, but basically, so Sharpay like applies for her to get into this thing. I can't remember what it's called, but like it's like a very elite, it's like amazing that she got in. And so she has to like leave, and she like isn't going to be able to do the musical because they're doing a high school musical. And so Sharpay's like her understudy, and like so she gets to be the lead. And
wait, so it almost sounds like a role reversal of Troy's role in this one, where it's like she's the one who, has to choose between like the big life opportunities.
But you know what? She wasn't gonna do it. She's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And Troy was the one that was like, it's an amazing opportunity. You have to go do it.
Well, you know what? Good for Efron. That's a very mature young lad.
Yeah, and so she does, and then like she's not able to like come visit, and then she's realizing that she's gonna miss prom, and then so she breaks up with him because she's like, I can't like keep trying to come see you and getting disappointed. Like, type thing.
Speaking of Sharpay,
Yes.
let's talk about Sharpay Evans, otherwise portrayed by the wonderful Ashley Tisdale. So Ashley Tisdale's real quick got a lot of Disney credits to her name. A lot of other I want to throw
Disney star.
I wanted to lob a few surprises at you, Tiki. We've covered before that
they might not be surprises, but go ahead.
Okay, so of course, the big thing Ashley Tisdale really made a meal of for a number of years was Maddie from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
That was her big breakout, right?
Yeah, but that was her series. I mean, she was she's in it for
and Zac Efron was on an episode of that.
I do know that. Yeah.
It's after there was all the High School Musical fans, they probably were like, "Oh, we'll put Zach on an episode," and they kiss on it.
Synergy, it's all synergy. We gotta get that synergy in there. Mm-hmm. You gotta kiss the ring. You gotta kiss the Efron now and again.
Franchise.
No, let's see. So she was actually Tiki. This is hoping to blow your mind here. She was in All Dogs. She was in the All Dogs Go to Heaven Christmas special.
Wait, wasn't that a cartoon?
Yeah. Yes. She had the voice in there. It was All Dogs, the All Dogs Christmas Carol. She played, I think she played one of the dogs.
So she started young.
Yeah.
I mean, she was young in High School Musical.
And I'm going to hit you with a better one. Okay, here's a better one. She was, I believe, one of Dot's friends in A Bug's Life.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah. And her biggest role in the animation, though, I think the thing she's probably best known for, along with Sweet Life, Candace from Phineas and Ferb.
All
right.
I think she's more like on the trying to do like more like writing and producing now.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm pretty sure she's like a writer or producer on that. What was that? Young and Hungry. That was a freeform multicam show.
Not sure.
Yes, she was an executive producer on that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so Tiki, how do you feel about Sharpay?
I mean, Sharpay, like I love her dynamic with Ryan, especially. Like that to me is like the most fun element of perhaps the whole franchise. I don't know, when she's interacting with Efron, I got to admit I'm a little bit on Gabriella's side.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, bitch, stay out of your territory. You know what I mean? Like you're clearly like broaching lines here. Like, all right, like you're clearly pushing. Like, I don't know. I think she's clearly like meant to be written a little bit unlikable, and then at the end she's just kind of like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna dance and sing and be friends with you guys just because synergy. And
basically, she's she's a bratty Angelica Pickles grown up, pretty much.
She very much has an Angelica Pickles thing going on for sure.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like aside from Angelica Pickles, the musical comparison I'd have for it is she's kind of like Lena Lamont from Singing in the Rain. You know, she's kind of like the silent movie stars always wants Gene Kelly's character, and she always. And, it's like she's always at the main.
I mean, to be fair, she has a much better singing voice than Lena Lamont.
Well, that's kind of the point. But she just kind of has that sort of thing where she's the talent, she's the drive. All the attention should be focused on her. But I do feel I feel because I remember this is a big thing I do remember from the first High School Musical that she had that thing at the end where she was falling for the cook, she was falling for Zeke. You got to make the baker and everything. She.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had an arc.
at the end of the second High School Musical.
But it's Efron though, Dragon. You can't resist the Efron.
I mean, who can?
Well, that's not the point. I thought she wasn't she redeemed?
It's like a drug. Like you already pointed out, like the catnip quality. It's like you just gotta. You need one more fix, you know.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted, us to like her at the end of High School Musical 2, and like she fell for the baker or whatever, because they didn't realize it was going to be such a massive hit, and they were going
exactly, and they just went back to the drawing board. We got to do it again. It's the sequel.
Yeah. They didn't realize, they're going to do a sequel. Otherwise, I don't think they maybe would have done that, or I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, they're like dance pop.
It's like she ends up with the cook from Gallivant.
The chef.
I bake. That's actually my favorite part of the first High School Musical is the stick to the status quo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's I'm sorry, you were saying?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that basically Sharpay, she's I like that we're on her turf. This movie, we're on her turf. We're like her family's country club. Like she's holding all the cards, so to speak. Here, she's really kind of driving our plot points here. So I like that we kind of we're not just rehashing like the school, because we already saw her kind of crash and burn at the school. So we kind of get again with the gambling parallel, the whole battle on of it all. It's like now we're playing against the house. This movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's very self-absorbed, very obsessed with her own award, which is just kind of sad. Like the award she always gets is like a whole wall. Like, really, you need another one? You can't just let somebody else have it. You literally have no more shelf space. Really?
It's nice that she gives it to her brother.
That is nice, though. I love that.
That was a good moment.
Ryan.
That was a contender for one of my favorite moments.
I love the actor who plays Ryan, Lucas Gabriel. He's or Gribel. I think it's Gabriel. It's cooler if it sounds like.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff I've liked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Anything, Katie, you'd like to add on Sharpay?
No. I think you nailed it. I love her. I love that she also after the first High School Musical, before I'd seen it, but like everyone heard about it, right? Like it was like this cultural phenomenon. I had heard of Zac Efron and Ashley Tisdale. I feel like they were kind of like the breakout stars, so to say.
Definitely Ashley Tisdale was a breakout as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember watching it and being like, oh, I kind of feel bad for Vanessa Hudgens. Like, I did not know who she was. But like, again, she's fine now. And I think that's why in the second one she gets her like own song, Fabulous, which I love. And I was driving to Palm Springs a few weeks ago for my friend's birthday, and I just had my friend, I was like, you play DJ, like just put on like an old like early 2000s Spotify playlist. And as we were like pulling into the Ace Hotel, Fabulous came on, and I was like, oh my god, I like this is so epic and perfect.
Yeah.
Because that is playing when she's driving her pink Corvette like to the country club.
Yep.
So now I'm like, man, I forgot about this song. I'm gonna blast it when I need like a little like, yeah, I'm a badass.
Oh my god.
It is catchy, I gotta be honest. It is kind of catchy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the other half of kind of the Evans duet. Let's talk about Ryan.
Again, I'm gonna use this comparison again. He's got a little bit of an Iago quality to him.
Yeah, in terms of the arc, I guess. Yeah,
the henchman of the villain coming around to work with the good guys.
Or Krunk, maybe Krunk.
Yeah, sure, a little bit of Kronk.
I'm a slim Krunk, maybe.
He's like, I don't know.
Those are
analogies. Like he's like, it was kind of the bad guy, but he realizes he wants to be a good guy.
Cody gone down the righteous path. He kind of redeems himself. Becomes a wildcat. He's old. It's a nice little. I think he had the most fleshed out arc. If you really want to look at the.
I honestly think he does too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Although it's like if it wasn't Disney Channel, like he would just be gay.
Yeah.
Disney Channel, like they can't make him gay. But that's a whole nother.
Honestly, I feel like if it was today, they would make him. Like, honestly, I feel like if High School Musical 4 was a thing, they would probably hint, like, at least give him, like, a LeFou, like, oh, look, I'm dancing with a guy for 5 seconds.
Oh, yep. You're right.
I wonder
That's my guess. They do that.
I gotta wonder if the director's projecting himself onto the character because he kind of becomes a choreographer and a director of the musical. I gotta wonder.
I've always kind of read into the Ryan character that way, Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that, but that makes total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I love Gabriel, and if anyone's just seen this, Katie, if I don't know how, were you ever a big CSI fan by any chance?
No.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll say he played. He was in CSI for like this one episode, really wowed me. And he played like Superboy on Smallville when they did. Again, for some reason, we had a Superboy on a Smallville before we had a Superman. It was really weird. Again, just don't ask. But the point being, we had Gabriel popped up, and it really impressed me because he played a young version. It was kind of like they did like a Next Generation episode where we had these 3 characters who were, again, they weren't like related or anything to the 3 main leads of CSI, but they're like parallel. It's like an inside joke of like, oh man, they're a lot like the other 3, and there's these kids just kind of coming in for like the one episode because CSI always does one comedy episode a season. This was the comedy episode, and basically Luke Gabriel, he played William Peterson's Gil Grissom character, who I love. He's like, oh man, he really kind of captures, he embodies like the kind of a Next Generation quality that he kind of, again, similar to the actor, also doing his own thing. So Gabriel's always impressed me with stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
He's a good actor.
All right.
Okay, so Dragon, let's talk about one of your favorites. Let's go to Fulton.
Well, before that, Chad. Remember Chad and Company?
Oh yeah, right. Chad and Company, Chad and Co, Chad and the Wildcat.
We Chad because we care. So,
by the way, Dragon, we found a likable Chad.
Oh my God, you're right. Wait, no, he's not likable though. He's not likable in this movie. Remember?
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my God, you're right.
I'm sorry, Katie. We had this running gag because when we did The Descendants, they had Chad Charming, as in Prince Charming's son, Chad Charming, and he basically was really unlikable in that movie. And basically, Tiki and I had the realization, oh my God, there's so many unlikable Chads when you really think about it. Rarely have you ever seen a likable Chad, and we've hit another one. At least in this case, this Chad's a little unsympathetic than usual. I gotta be honest.
To tie back to Just Giggle It, the jerk boyfriend character in the real life Pokemon, the Ash Ketchum, he's dating this girl, and then the ex-boyfriend comes into the picture, and the ex-boyfriend's name is Chad, and we get this great Joshua Thomas delivery trying to imitate Ash Ketchum, where he's like, "She told you to leave, Chad."
So basically, we kind of have that dawning realization. Oh my God, yeah, Chad from.
And yeah, honestly, like Chad at first glance, like when this movie first starts, it seems like, all right, yeah, he's dancing in the hallways, he's super energetic, he's pumped up, he's going to be a really fun part of this movie. But then it turns out, no, he's just judgmental and getting in the way of his friend's future and dreams. He's not a likable Chad.
What's so ridiculous is like the whole Swiss thing, where basically, again, Troy just made points out, oh, I didn't order this with Swiss on it. And again, it's just they got the order wrong, and that's when he turns on him. It's that moment. Literally, it's like, that's the moment. That was the last straw. Like, really? But you screwed it up.
Well, you know what? He's likable in the 3rd one, I'll say.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can buy it. I can buy it because Corbin Bleu just has a natural air of likability to him. Yeah. And like I said, in the dance numbers, he does genuinely come off like he has this radiant, like kind of like energy to him where it's like, yeah, it's like he just looks super happy in the dance numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I loved him in I Don't Dance. The one he does with Lucas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, Katie, and you could, if anyone in this room could correct me, I think it'd be you on this. In the first High School Musical, isn't he like kind of the proponent of the status quo of like, Troy, you can't do the musicals aren't cool or something?
Yeah.
That again, this character, I don't know if he just sidled with this. I'm going to take your word on the 3rd one. Maybe there's some improvements, but regardless,
and his dad are very like, no, you gotta focus on basketball, man. That's how you get a scholarship.
Chad just seems very a little self-interested when it really comes down to he's either really kind of simple. No, I don't want to say simple. That's not fair. But I mean, it's like he's really kind of like central. I have a central focus on one. He's always about maintaining kind of the very sports-centric status quo. Where it's like, I'm not into the dancing and the musical, despite the fact they do like a whole choreographed musical number like the first one they're playing the basketballs and everything.
Hold the phone on that one. I want to explore that a little bit because this is one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to musicals. Is the whole idea of like let's say you're a songwriter in the world of a musical. So Katie, are you familiar with Rent?
Rent, yeah.
Okay, good. So Roger, let's talk about Roger for a minute because this kind of meets the point of the whole like, hey, wait a minute, like how can Corbin Blue, how can Chad hate dancing when he's like doing these really good, really well choreographed musical numbers?
You just look to the opening of the movie. Don't even look at the last movie. Just look at the opening of this movie.
I know. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Like he's jumping off of lockers. It's okay. So Roger sings one song, "Glory," in the first act of Rent, like very early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's arguably one of the best songs in the whole show. And it's all about the whole concept that Roger needs to write this great song. And in itself, it is a really good song. It's a very memorable, very poignant, heartfelt song that captures the themes and tones that the show's going for. And then at the end of the show, he sings the song that he's been working on the whole show, Your Eyes. And it's just kind of like this generic, forgettable love ballad.
Yeah, you're right.
And so my whole point is like Roger is like a songwriter in a world in which we just spontaneously bust out into song. And how does one make a living doing that? Like that must be such an existential crisis thing where it's like, I don't know what to do, man. Like songs are my thing, but these people, they just start burning eviction notices and singing these punk ballads off the fire escapes. It's like real life just has me beat. I don't know. I like exploring fun what if scenarios like that.
Yeah, no, we're just overthinking it.
Oh yeah, no, I am totally overthinking it for sure. But
yeah,
anyway.
no, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
So, basically the Wildcats as a whole, they're kind of joining Troy in this venture for, looking for a little summer fun, a little, being together and some money on the side because, someone want to buy cars, some also have the college worries. So, it's kind of what they're all in for. But again, I think a lot of them are just kind of there for like, hey, Wildcats, right? Because, we're basically just really kind of
yeah, pretty much the big brand. It's like Wildcats were like, hey, this is the sports team that you want to go, this is a sports team you want at your high school, high school pride and all that.
We have to find some way to call it High School Musical without the high school. So we got to
exactly.
And like characters like Zeke,
Country Club Musical.
That's the thing. We're kind of
Well, they couldn't call it that. People would get confused.
They would. Marketing. So, and again, like some characters getting underutilized, like Zeke completely forgot about his whole thing. Like he has like one line saying, "I still got a crush on Sharpay," and we do nothing with him for the rest of the movie.
Poor Zeke.
Nothing? Really?
We hardly knew you, Zeke.
Poor Zeke. But I think the one who gets the best service out of all of them isn't even a Wildcat. He's more like it's Kelsey, the songwriter, the piano player. She gets the most of it.
She is who I relate to the most in that movie. I feel like I'm very much Kelsey.
Nice girl, she's got some musical talent. She's gonna put upon like, hey, Kelsey, play the piano for me because.
I mean, I got to admit, like, she's way more my type than either Vanessa Hudgens or Ashley Tisdale is because I don't know. I just kind of like that kind of like nerdy quality that she has. Like, I don't know. I'm into that type of girl.
Well, and she ends up being the love interest for Lucas.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh,
Ryan.
that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
So-
I support that ship. Let's ship
They
that now.
go to prom together in the third one.
That precious. That's nice.
So yeah, I was crushing on her when everyone else was crushing on Ashley Tuesday. I was like, who's that cute nerdy girl in the corner?
I gotta be honest. There's a show that I'm sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I will say she's a little bit too invested in Troy and Gabby's relationship. That's fine.
Oh, I'll admit that. Yeah, that's.
She pulls the big switch of the movie, so it's kind of a big deal. You know, she.
You know
like,
what? I
writes
feel
songs
like
for
it's less like personal investment into the relationship and more like kind of like, in her heart of hearts, she loves these big sweeping romances, and she wants to see more Singing in the Rains and less La La Lands. Damn it! She wants to see people get together.
True.
What's wrong with wanting a happy ending, Katie?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, again, plot hole. Like, no one's like, I'm writing songs for you,
hole.
even though, like, Troy, you probably won't sing it because you want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway,
Yes,
remember
Kelsey.
I remember. I'm sure real quick, but I remember Vanessa Hudgens. She did this show. She did a DC show. It was very few and fleeting. It didn't last that long.
Oh,
It was
God.
called Powerless, and it
Oh,
was. As I saw her in that, it's like, oh my god, Vanessa Hudgens, man, she's that's why if I ever talking about who would gravitate towards, mainly because of that show, I was like, man, Vanessa Hudgens just open my eyes, like she's got kind of that cutesy quality, and I think it's kind of present in this movie. I probably wouldn't go in for the Gabriella character, but Kelsey's awesome. Kelsey, she does again. Kelsey's got a homespun quality to her, nice.
Yeah. All right.
So let's talk. Oh yes, let's talk about Mr. Fulton.
Your favorite, right?
Yes, man, I love Mr. Fulton. He's my favorite in the movie here. Let's see, Mr. Fulton. So he's played by Mark L. Taylor.
Fulton, you need to manage your crap houses, man. I'm sorry, that was a really lame joke. Food joke.
So
Fulton's
actually,
crap house.
It's funny. Mark L. Taylor.
Does anyone remember Fulton's crap house?
I think we're just burying the crab house bit right
Fulton's
now.
crap house. Okay.
No.
Okay. Fine. Bury the crap house bit.
by all means, anything.
No, I'm just saying. I remember there being a Fulton's crap house at San Francisco that I went to once or twice.
Okay.
That's about it. Continue.
Mark L. Taylor played Mr. Fulton.
Yeah, see, it's actually funny because after I was watching the movies, rewatching the movie, because I remember this Fulton character. I forgot it, it's been a while rewatching. He's like, oh my god, this guy seems so familiar to me. I looked it up, and yeah, he was because I basically binged a whole bunch of, well, I should say binged. Basically, I kept having marathons on TV, so I just kept watching like back-to-back marathons of Home Improvement. I guess a few months ago. And I was watching a few episodes, watching a whole bunch of episodes. Pretty much I probably watched it the whole season a couple times. Regardless, he popped up a couple times. He played the father of the girl that Randy Taylor liked.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, it was like the one where
he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like I remember thinking he looked familiar when I saw High School Musical 2. He's done. I feel like he was on Grey's Anatomy for a few episodes. And he was on How to Get Away with Murder, The Middle. Like he's done a lot.
And a little factoid too. I found that he played the alter ego of Thor in the big Incredible Hulk cross. So back in the 70s version of the Incredible Hulk, he played Donald Blake. He played like the voice of Donald. I guess like on Answer Machine or something. He played Donald Blake.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and the big thing I know him from nostalgically though was he was Charlie in the Mask animated series. Remember they did an animated series based on the Jim Carrey Mask, and they had Charlie, the kind of the friend that kind of like locked him out of the club. That was kind of like, hey, like me and my friend want to get in the club. He just leaves him out there. Charlie. He played him. He was a regular. He got promoted to the bank manager. Always gave like Stanley, buddy, you got to do this. And just does not help him at all. So that was Mark L. Taylor. So yeah, the point is Taylor. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kate. Taylor's been a bunch of stuff, but. Yeah, this guy, he's I love that there was a little bit of dimension to him. I like that he was a guy, he wasn't just a stuffed shirt. Like he wasn't he wasn't Ted Knight from Caddyshack.
He's kind of got a little bit of a like the principal from Recess vibe going
Yeah, a little bit
on.
of Principal Prickly in there. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Principal Prickly. Like a little bit of like he's the authority figure that we're not supposed to like, but darn it, he's kind of likable anyways.
I just love
and
this
you feel
poor
for
put-upon
him.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's just this poor put-upon guy. He's working for like the most demanding bosses ever, the Evans family. It's like, oh god, I just want to run a nice country club, and these nuts just keeps like contest. You know, we got to have everything all posh and nice and stunning and like, big entrances and tiki shows and all sorts of stuff. But you know, again, he just wants to run a nice club. I respect that so much. I'm the guy who like it's the most I get out of casino is just the near running a casino. So that might be playing to my mentality. I don't know, but you know, I love that I love that he genuinely wants to give the kids a shot. Like, okay, I'm going to get the Bolton kid, and to get the Bolton kid, I got to invite the Wildcats. But you know what? If they turn some hard work, you know, so be it. Fine. Again, like he's trying to give them a shot. He tells Sharpay, look, we had a policy of, you know, we employ the youths and we give everybody a shot at the talent show and everything. He's just this nice fastidious guy who deep down, I think he's uberly fastidious, but deep down he's a nice guy. Like he's a fun guy. He just can't express it. That's the thing. Mr. Fulton rocks. I don't know what. I like Fulton, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pro con this sucker.
He makes a good crab.
Sure.
All right. Okay, pros and cons. So, obviously, pros, I think the cinematography in this movie is just, like, off the charts. I mean, it's not Singing in the Rain or Gene Kelly or anything, but, like, I just seriously, just, like, all the energy of the performers and the dancers and, I mean, you could just feel it, man. You can, and I love how, like, even in scene transitions, like, you can see the guys like just kind of like singing and dancing in the kitchen and everything. Like, even when it's not a full blown song, there's kind of like these dance routines going on, and I really dig that about this movie. This movie's got kind of just this infectious, happy quality to it.
Let me tell you my favorite little thing in the movie here. My favorite little thing is so the Fabulous song is really catchy, and it's a nice like an introduction to Sharpay and basically kind of the tone of the movie and like kind of the big whammo blam of it all. So the Fabulous is catchy in itself. But what I really love, my favorite detail, is that we bring back the theme of Fabulous, like I guess the melody or points. We bring back kind of the eternal theme, but we play in different contexts in the background score. That's my favorite part of it. Like, oh my god, we play like when her father comes, we play like the big grand, like the president is entering the fray, like you know, as the helicopters land, like dun 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 dun. You know, and we have like different kind of speeds and variation. I really love the variations built in the score with that. Nice. Just me geeking out on the music there, but.
I mean, the music's the best part of the film, other than Zach.
I mean, yeah, let's face it. I mean, another pro. I think Zach is definitely very charming in the movie. I'll give you that. Also, Ryan. Also, we also said he has a good arc. He probably has the most character development out of anyone in the film, honestly.
Yes.
Well,
I never thought about that until we started talking about it.
I Don't Dance, that's a good standout.
That is,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
The end of Fabulous, when she's kind of wrapping up the song and like Zac Efron kind of like slow motion like walks into the country club and like to the pool area, and she's like, absolutely, like that's fabulous. But then, like,
she's literally waving him in.
And then she's like Vanessa and I think Zeke maybe or Chad, and she's like not, and then she like falls into the pool. Vanessa has to like save her because she's a lifeguard, and then Zach just like bends down and like winks at Vanessa, and I'm just like, oh my god, so hot.
That's what I'm saying. I think Zac Efron does kind of have like this wily, like almost I don't know, how would you describe it, Dragon? Like he's got kind of like this like sly fox quality to him.
Yeah, he's got that, he's a little bit of that Zadie charm right there. A little bit of that. It's for the Zadie fans out there. It's like wink the camera, like, yeah, I'm Zac Efron. That's what I do. You know?
Maybe a little bit of a Clark Gable thing going on.
A bit, yeah. Here's the thing. There is a dash. I don't know if it's just for the franchise. Because I think it brings us in other things. There's Zac Efron, you look at the guy at first glance, you hear the name, or you think basically if you just go off what the guy's been in, when like okay, he's in High School Musical, does a lot, that was like what he was known for. It's kind of what made his bones in the business, so to speak. It's like okay, this guy's just could be kind of like again as Zac Efron said himself, kind of a teen poppy sort of guy, like okay, just like he's a Disney kids pop sort of thing. It's like that sort of thing, but of course he's not that. I think when he really chooses his projects, when he does his stuff, and of course, like the me and Orson Welles thing, the even a little bit of 17 in me. Sorry, yeah, 17 again. Sorry, I know I'm thinking of Orson Welles, but yeah, 17 again, and even like his recent stuff. He is bringing a little bit of old Hollywood. There's kind of a little bit of old Hollywood kind of charm, like the wink at the camera, like a bit of that Clark Gable charm, I guess. A little bit. I can't just say Clark Gable. I know exactly what you're going for. He's got a bit of that old. He's kind of trying to bring back old Hollywood, like many celebrities like try to bring sexy back or something. Like he's bringing old Hollywood back.
And he's like, and he also has like this kind of like boy next.
I definitely feel like sorry, Katie. I definitely feel like he's got that old Hollywood charm going in The Greatest Showman for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's just like not only is he attractive, you just feel like he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just feel like he's like genuine.
Bit of a tab hunter, so like kind of like maybe not like kind of your A-lister, but like guy who's like on the crux of like working his way up to the A-lister. That's sort of like old Hollywood, where you have like maybe he's like not a Gene Kelly, but again he's kind of like working his way up to a Clark Gable, like a lesser known, like a tab hunter or something.
I just hope that this is like gonna sound selfish, but I just hope he doesn't like pull a Leonardo DiCaprio and just like only do these like Oscar movies, and you know what I mean, like just starts taking himself like so
where he's like crawling inside of horse carcasses and God knows what else.
And the majority of his acting is either I'm just going to shout really loud or I'm going to have
I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's great, but like
he is great. Yeah.
He started young and he was, a heartthrob, and he did, but like Growing Pains, and he was like super cute. And then, he's like, now he only does like these Oscar movies where he doesn't play the cute Leo anymore, which that's fine. And that's his choice. And I respect it. That's not what I want for Zac.
Hey, real quick, because there's like a whole Just Gable sketch dedicated to you. Leo should have won the Oscar.
I was going to
what is your favorite DiCaprio, either movie or like performance? He's always movie. Like, what do you got? What's your favorite?
I think it's Catch Me If You Can.
Me too.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I would have to go with The Wolf of Wall Street myself, just because I feel like the just the sheer raw energy that DiCaprio brought to that was pretty unparalleled. But yeah, Catch Me If You Can was that's a good one. That's underrated Spielberg for sure.
Catch Me If You Can is my favorite. Second favorite is The Aviator, but I want to turn this all into DiCaprio Central here. Let's get back to the as in F and Efron. So let's see. So we got of course Gabriel and Mark L. Taylor. I'm liking those two actors very much in this piece.
Sharpay does make a fun villain.
Yeah, and she's not like evil. She just
she's not. She's like Angelica Pickles evil.
Yes, yeah.
Well, maybe a little less evil than Angelica Pickles.
Less evil than Angelica Pickles, sure, fair.
Those early seasons of Rugrats, Katie, I tell you, Angelica Pickles, not to be trifled.
Oh, I know. My brother used to love Rugrats. I remember watching that with him.
I like that we're not making Troy the bad guy or not making him like the fool, but he's in a complex situation. He's in somewhat of a to the point where it makes me sympathize with him. Here's the thing: the movie. I think the movie's telling me I shouldn't be, but it's kind of hard to make that hard to discern that. Like, am I supposed to be?
And that's definitely a con. Is that the moral of the movie is kind of mixed?
Yeah.
Of course, we allowed the Toady, the Toady brother to grow and evolve with the Ryan story, which again, I'm sorry, you guys already said the arc. Right. I already mentioned I like Troy taking the blame and stuff. And the whole I like that the 3 strikes thing is now like traditionally we'd have the trope of like 3 strikes and you're out. And we don't really do that. It's like okay, well, it's like there are 2 strikes and he's just putting her on guard, but we don't do like the 3rd strike, her being out. At least in my recollection.
Right. Yeah.
The last thing I got with Proza, we have a bit of a satire on elitist clubs. Like we have some funny scenes to like teaching the kids how to golf, that sort of stuff. Of like, we just do things good. We just those golf teachers do that. Those elitist clubs, they really don't care. They're just
Those
like,
crazy elitist golf teachers, am I right?
yeah.
I loved Sharpay's little like outfit she wears on the golf course.
And
I
I
love
love
that she has pink balls.
I love the personalized pink balls as well.
Oh, little fun fact, guys. I don't know if you know this. Did you know? I just blew my mind. Maybe I'm just like the last of the party here. I don't know. But did you know when they shoot? I'm assuming this is like a standard in the business, perhaps. But I mean, when they shoot the golf scenes, they use ping pong balls. They don't use golf balls.
Oh, I didn't
Really?
know that.
No, I didn't know that either.
And I didn't know it. It's so funny because before I looked into it, I noticed like in that scene where Sharpay's, I think it was when the family's golfing earlier on. When the family's golfing, when someone hits the ball, she hits the tee. She doesn't hit the ball, but they all look at the ball that just got hit because you can clearly see the ball. Just she hits it, and the ball just goes to the right, like at the caddy's feet. Where they like the tee is like that's the one went flying, and everyone actually again I think they scoofed that one up when they shot it. I gotta be honest. I think either that or she's that bad. Probably a bit of both. I don't know. Well, we know she's really good at playing golf because probably I don't know. All right.
I don't know.
Right, so let's talk some cons here. So more than just like little discrepancies in the in the golf balls here. Let's see. Bet On has a really bad transition.
What? What
Bet
has
On
that?
the golf which
Oh.
basically shows like having this big kind of like will I what should I do moment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's literally like he finds out it's like this big dramatic moment where he gets the flyers. Is like the staff cannot perform. He's like, oh boy, crumples it up and he's walking all defiantly. You think oh he's gonna stand up, he's gonna like say, hey, what's up with this? I'm not expecting him to like throw in the guy's face or anything. I'm just waiting for like okay, let's see what happens here. Just like then he's stomping in the song right now. Like really, that's what we're doing right now. He's just now. Oh god! What is this? This isn't Footloose. Darn it! Well, yeah,
No, this is Dancing. It's on.
starring.
Katie, are you aware of that movie, Dancing? It's on.
No.
Oh, seek it out. Seek it out if you like corny as hell movies like this with terrible ADR.
All right. What's it called?
Dancing. It's on.
Dancing. It's on. Okay.
Dancing. It's on. Anyways.
Oh, speaking of the musical, I just want to say this. I think this movie's operating with the usual kind of handicap that any musical has, in that the songs are catchy and the songs in the High School Musical franchise, at least the first two that I can mainly recollect, is that they're for the most part they're catchy and they're decent songs, but it's always combating the problem of like the old breaking in the song trope. And I think the problem here is that I think it's better than it was in the first movie. Just kind of breaking the song, we don't really address it. Now I'm not saying they always have to address it. Again, that's kind of the handicap you take with the musical. Sometimes they address it, most of the time they don't. But here, what we do is I think the problem is while they're it's kind of the thing you accept. Okay, they're breaking the song, but the problem for me is that I'm not investing in those moments where it's like it happens and I don't care. I'm still caring a little bit. We have like these really kind of they up the scale. A pro is that they up the scale really well. Like we have like these really great, well choreographed dance numbers. But again, I feel like I'm just watching a choreographed and like off the like before the movie, like a prequel of some kind. Like oh, rehearse the numbers, and that's a movie within itself. Like okay, guys, let's rehearse. Come on, we got like a whole movie to do here, and it just feels like it's very superly rehearsed and choreographed number. I'm feeling I'm watching a performance perform dial into the story. It's like again, I want to just say it's no Singing in the Rain because like what can be, but it's like. You take like a Singing in the Rain.
Well, to be fair, La La Land is no Singing in the Rain, but I still think La La Land is a masterpiece in its own right.
Let me take your example. You take La La Land or like The Producers, for example. Like,
right.
I'm invested in the story, and there's something there. And this, again, maybe it's probably an unfair comparison, but you see what I'm talking about. Like those are examples where we can kind of get past. Like you break in the song, but you don't care because you're dialed into the story and the character, and you care about what they're singing about.
And La La Land is a movie that for the most part, it calls attention to the magical realism. If it doesn't directly address it, at the very least, the magical realism fits into the overall style and aesthetic of what the scene is going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. Yes. Because like in the beginning, the very, very beginning, before they go into singing What Time Is It, they kind of like Zach hears people going like summer. Summer, and you kind of see him like looking around like what's happening, and it's kind of like okay, you can kind of think they're probably just talking, but this is how Zach is seeing, like this is how Troy is seeing what's happening. Like you kind of justify the singing that way. But yeah, on Bet on It, it's like, is this how he sees himself, like getting his anger out? Like it was just weird. Yeah, and then he like tries to like golf and he like misses and he's like, oh. I mean, I like the song, but yeah, I thought him just like dancing by himself, I thought, yeah, was weird.
Real quick, I wanted to shout out Fago Rain in the comments.
Fago Rain!
Fago Rain, a Just Giggle favorite. Fago Rain says, anyone remember when Ashley sang the song from the musical in the... sorry, the comments a little jumbled here. The musical in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, it was like, it was for London to impress her dad. It was like, I guess there was like a musical sequence where it was like, Ashley Tisdale teaching London to sing to impress her father. Did it ring any bells, anyone?
I was not a big Sweet Life guy.
Yeah, I didn't see that episode.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, Fago, but welcome all the same. Anyway, let's see. So, I'm trying to see if there's any major cons here. Again, Gabriella's kind of a plot device, and and again the
Chad is unlikable.
Friends are way too nosy, or again, as we kind of saying, the morals really off. The guy's just doing his job, and he told you got the cheese wrong on his sandwich. Okay, let's not lose our heads here. And again, we kind of undid Sharpay's arc from the first one, but it sounds like, according to Katie, it sounds a little bit kind of like a Back to the Future sort of thing. And we didn't know we were going to do other ones, so that's why Jennifer's in the car sort of move. Like, yeah, well, we got to do another one, so we got to undo a little bit there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Okay. All right. I think that, let's move on.
So favorite moments. I have a moment that's literally right at the beginning, so I guess I should go first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the What Time Is It song, I mean, I've kind of gushed about it throughout the podcast, but I just think it's such a great, like it's like firing a gun at the start of a race, you know what I mean? It's like, bam! It's like, here we go, we're in it. It's like huge amounts of choreography, great energy, just everyone just looks like they're having a ball. My favorite person in this scene is honestly Corbin Bleu. I don't know, for some reason, I love him just like bouncing off of the lockers and then like dancing with the cheerleaders, and he just has just this big shitting grin on his face, like, yeah, I'm so stoked to be here with my friends, bro. This is just awesome, man. And unfortunately, I wish Corbin Bleu maintained that likability throughout the rest of the movie, but like I said, at least in this song, he definitely airs that likability. He exudes it. Of course, we get a little preview of Sharpay and Ryan's characters in this as well. They get a little bit of their own. And then, God, Katie, I'm sure you love this little bit. At the end of the song, the bell rings and it's like, oh, that's it. But then Zac Efron's like, no, that's not it. I'm going to do this random slide down the hallway.
Body slide. The slip and slide with Efron on it.
Katie, I love that slip and slide. Oh my, Zach is just like, he's just like, nah, man, we're going to keep it going. Yeah.
Love him.
All right, so that song is just, to me, it's like, honestly, I would wager to say that song might be the best DCOM song that I've seen so far. And keep in mind, I haven't seen all the DCOM musicals, so, I don't know. But it's up there. It's up there. Like, the mix of, it's not the most, let's be, it's not like, it's not like a highly sophisticated, let's study the intellectual meaning behind these lyrics. It's not that kind of song, but it's a fun, catchy little earworm of a song that has just a great energy behind it, and I love it. Okay, and then finally, of course, I am Tiki, and so I have to go with the Tiki Goddess song that was actually cut from the original broadcast. It's only on the extended edition of this movie.
Which is really a disappointing extended edition, because from what I understand, it's only that one scene put into it, and that's how they marketed that. So it sounds like a real jip. But I don't know if anything else that was added into that. I'm pretty sure that was the main. We added this one sequence you didn't see in the movie, and
the one sequence is like a truly what the fuck. If you follow the Nostalgia Critic, I'm sorry, Katie, you might be lost on this reference here, but it's a big-lipped alligator moment. Where it's just like, okay, like just this thing that just kind of comes out of nowhere and stops the movie. Katie, are you familiar with All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah, but I've not seen it in probably like 20 years.
Well, there's this really...
So you don't remember the big-lipped alligator?
No.
That doesn't ring a bell? Dragon, you want to explain it?
Without... Look, I don't want to get...
It's fine, Katie, it's fine.
Point being, there's like this... basically a
That's
scene with Charlie and then Annette. Sorry, that's Charlie and Annie. I believe it's Emery. Sorry, it's been a while. Point being, like they get separated. It's like we're doing the movie, and then we kind of get separated. We're okay. So now Charlie's just kind of falling down. Now he's in the clutches of this giant out of left field, big lipped alligator saying like "Let's make music together." Just had this really random musical number. And again, I
just
swear to God,
big gay alligator.
It's just again, it has big lips, and that's why it's kind of turned to a meme that I guess made its way to the Nostalgia Critic and vice versa. It's called Big Lipped Alligator. Like an out of left field, like it's a non sequitur moment. Get it? It's like a movie that doesn't really come back in the movie at all. Some people might raise an argument with All Dogs Go to Heaven. We're not going to bring up that argument now. The point being, the alligator just really has no business being in that movie. It's like, why is there a giant alligator? And it's like his whole the alligator has a cult too of like these followers that kind of sacrifice Charlie, put him in a cage. It's like a little. I know it sounds like Katie. It sounds like I should be.
Remember that movie kind of like scarring me a little bit because like don't.
Oh, it's a traumatic moment. It's a traumatic movie.
Well, with the name like All Dogs Go to Heaven, death does play a role.
Yeah, doesn't a dog like drowned or something?
Oh yeah, right at the start.
I mean, that's one you got to revisit, man. That's I forget if it's still on Amazon or not. That's one you should look into. Believe me. The first one, don't. Second one, don't. I'll caution you. Second one, at your own peril, my dear. At your own peril. The first one, though, that's.
I've been warned.
And also, Google Judith Barcy at your own peril.
Well, don't. Oh yeah, at your own.
You've also been warned.
I'll just tell you, Katie, that one legitimate. That one's the ultimate sad story. You may.
That
one's no joke though. It's serious. Don't.
Yeah.
Point being, on
Barcy, but don't do it right now. Just
do not do it right now. You're gonna be too bummed out.
Yeah. Okay. Just if you want a dark, morbid context for All Dogs Go to Heaven.
You need like a catharsis cry, maybe, but again, like seriously, what happened to her is no joke. But anyway, so on to greener pastures. So yes, have you said your piece on the Tiki thing, or should we?
I mean, like I said, it's just kind of like this fun, like what the hell, like why are we doing this? But you know what? Why not? Ryan gets a chance to shine here, which I always appreciate. You know, I always appreciate Ryan getting to perform and put on his little, Tiki God outfit.
Oh my God! I forgot he was in that song too.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's funny? Now you mentioned that. Oh my God! I'm sorry. DK, I interrupted you.
No. It's fine. I don't know. I think I like the moment just because it's just like it is out of nowhere and it is Tiki, which I'm all into Tiki culture, even though frankly the lyrics of the song kind of butcher traditional Hawaiian war chants, but I'll kind of forgive that.
Okay, so I'm only familiar with the uncut version, and I've seen that clip of the movie I've seen it separately. When do you remember when in the movie that is?
Okay, it's I want to say it's right after Troy gets done doing the caddy thing for the first time, and he's talking to Sharpay's dad, and Sharpay's like, Troy, I want to show you something that's going to persuade you to work more close with my family.
Right, and it's probably right. I think it's right before Vanessa breaks up with him too. Now that you say that,
no, I think it's earlier than that. It's earlier than that.
Oh.
It's pretty early on in the movie.
Are you trying to
definitely in
pinpoint
the first act?
Are you trying to pinpoint the Tiki song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know.
I've only
is.
seen it
Where is it,
I've only
Dragon?
seen
Where
it
is it?
All
separately.
right, so the Tiki song, it's like literally, and this is so awesome. This is what I wanted to bring up. I was going to have my own because I realized what's missing from the actual theatrical cut here. So here's what happens. So in the movie, it's way early on. I believe I want to say I forget how far it is. I forget if it's before or after like the first day on the caddy job. What happens is in the movie.
I want to say it's definitely within like the first half
It is.
hour.
It's way early on, but here's what happens.
Yeah.
So here's what's in the movie. In the movie is Fulton comes by and presents Troy with the suit and says, "You come with me." He clocks out or something, and he presents with a suit, and that's where the scene cuts. I think it's either cut to him like I think if I'm remembering correctly, you see him maybe at the dinner that follows that performance or something, and then he misses a date with Gabriella, but. The idea is like he was changing into that suit, and Fulton puts him in like a chair to see the like, Mr. Fulton, where are you? Then what's going on here? Then of course the Tiki.
Right.
So that explains why he gave him that suit and everything. And the thing that was just kind of blowing my mind later on is that throughout the movie, when I was watching the theatrical version, I remember the very first time I watched the movie was the extended cut because of the DVD that they put on at the school way back in the day. So So he says that's why I kind of remember the sequence when I rewatched it when I found out Tiki was using the Tiki moment here. But here's the thing: throughout the theatrical cut, without this scene, they keep mentioning that Lucas Gabriel's character, that Ryan, has this Tiki costume. I keep thinking, did I miss like a Tiki?
Yeah.
Are they just talking
right,
about
right.
like this? Are they just talking about this thing?
He actually has the Tiki costume.
I know that's because he told me he has to sell it off now. It's now a movie. But again, that's the thing. If you didn't see that scene, it makes it just they're talking about it.
He was gonna be in it, but then he wanted Zach to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They already have the Tiki. Yeah, they talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not in there.
Exactly. So it's missing in the theatrical cut now.
God.
Well, I guess not the TV cut, whatever.
But I didn't watch the theatrical cut thinking like, oh, they must have cut that out, because they talked about it like it was from the year before or something.
Yeah, I know that's what it plays as, but now you know like the full. Oh yeah, it's gonna neat.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, who's next on final thoughts?
I think me.
Or no, I'm sorry, not final thoughts. Favorite moments. My bad.
After my gun, why don't you? I think I go next, and I think it's Katie because I think Katie has stuff more towards the back half.
Okay.
I think I'm plumb in the middle, honestly. So I guess chronologically here, I like Troy gets promoted. You know, gets kind of gets a taste of kind of the lap of luxury in the club. You know, he kind of becomes the golf teacher for the kids. But you know, I love that Fulton here is just kind of coming by Troy, and again, I get a sense he at some level he likes to give him an opportunity here. He says, look, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If the Evans want to help your future, let it be. You know, the show must go on, sort of things. He kind of shows him like the Italian golf shoes, like all
the Italian golf shoes that cause so much drama.
His new wardrobe, he gets like a special locker. It's really nice. You know, like Troy getting in the swanky lifestyle. Well, I don't know why. I just felt like, yeah, good for him. So there's that, and again, kind of by the behest of a little bit of Fulton magic worked in there. It never hurts. Speaking of Fulton magic, let me talk in a second moment. I like even more so. So Mr. Fulton, this speaks of what I love about the character. Where he gets the order from the top down from Sharpay that no, you make sure we're busy to the teeth, everyone working. So I don't want any of those freaking wildcats cramping my talent show. And poor Fulton, he has to give the order to Taylor, I think, and like the Taylor's like showing up in a little golf cart, and he says like, well, what do you mean? We're not having the talent show. So sometimes in life, sometimes I forget where last names, but sometimes in life, Taylor, you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. Sometimes you have to do something to earn the almighty paycheck for your little bank account. It just gets really sad because again, he doesn't want to take a little bit of joy from the kids here, and he just gets really sad about it. And she says, "Mr. Fulton, can I get you some tea?" Chamomile gets in the golf. It's so endearing and a little bit pathetic, but I love it. I love the guy. I don't know. That scene where I really fall in love with Fulton. Like, oh man, Fulton, my heart goes out to him.
All right, Katie, your favorite moments?
Rocker World.
Okay, well, I mentioned briefly like when Zach, winks at Vanessa when she's in the pool. That I feel like I have to bring up again because it was like I was still very like discovering Zach, and he did that in Hairspray, and that his wink and his blue eyes are just amazing. Okay, next, so when they are first starting to work at the country club, and and Corbin Blue, damn it, and all the while, and Taylor And all the Wildcats are like, this sucks. Troy, like, why did you get us into this? And it's like, Zach's like, I'm sorry. I thought like you guys wanted a job to earn some money, you know?
It's like, generally speaking, when you earn money, you have to work, you know?
There's a
That's
lot of
kinda how it
hypocrisy in this
goes.
movie on a second glance. Don't you think? There's a lot of
Come
hypocrisy.
on, guys, we can totally turn this thing around. And because like the song starts with them being like, how do we go from the top of the world to the bottom of the heap? I don't recall you mentioning the boss is such a creep. And it's like, yeah, they're all kind of like hanging out, like ratting on him. And Zach's like, come on, we can totally turn this thing around. He's like, we gotta work this out. And he does this cool little dance. They should have done it like where, and it's just him dancing, which, you know, we said when he did an embed on it, it was kind of weird, but like it actually really works with him just doing this little dance to the chorus. And he actually does this moment like after he's done it once or twice where he kind of like he like does with his hands like to Vanessa, like, come here, and she starts doing it too with him. It is so hot. So like
Someone take this girl's temperature. She's got Efron fever right now.
Oh, you guys, I was getting over my obsession, and now it's just like I feel like I'm back at 19
We're
again.
your enablers, Katie.
It's okay. But anyways, I learned the choreography to that song. I remember like in college, like moving my bed like to the side of the room and like YouTubing like how to do that dance.
Oh God.
And whenever we would go out, I would get drunk and start doing it, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's doing High School Musical again."
Hashtag Zadie for life.
Oh, so pathetic. But yeah, it was this cool little dance. And
Now I want to see Carmilla and Party Addison do the High School Musical dance.
Ooh, yeah.
Throwing it out there
Take
into the
notes.
ecosphere.
And then another sweet moment, which I forgot about until we started talking about Lucas so much, was when he's talking to his parents and they're doing yoga. And do you remember that? And he's like,
Hi,
he like
Mom.
goes up on his like, like on his handstand. That was such a cute little moment.
It's like
Look how nice he is to his folks. I like that.
Yeah, and then the very, very end when they're singing All for One and they're doing this dance move like they're swimming kind of. It was cool. I liked it. And they were like all around the pool, and Miley, I remember like it was like Disney Channel was like, vote for which Hannah Montana star you want to be in High School Musical 2. And it was this, you know, of course, Miley Cyrus won.
Well, who
And
else
they made
would
it-
it? Fucking
here's what
Billy
would've
Ray
happened.
Cyrus.
No.
Hey
Here's what it
kids,
would've
I'm
done.
the janitor.
No, they had to pick between
would've been
Hannah
like-
Montana and Miley Cyrus. They had to pick between which one. That's the thing. It's a dual identity. Remember, that was the big complex
That's
drama of the show.
That's what it was? I thought it was like choose her or the...
No, Kate, I'm being sardonic. I have no earthly idea.
Oh. Or, you know, it might have been like which Disney star, like, period. So it might have been like
Makes
Miley
more
or
sense.
like Selena Gomez. Like, I don't remember.
Or Raven, maybe.
Wait, yeah, but I feel like Emily Osmond, who played like the best friend on that show, I feel like she was definitely like in contention or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, it was no surprise that Miley Cyrus won, I remember. And they made it seem like she was gonna have like this part, you know, like a whole dance number, and you literally see her for like a second.
Like, oh, there she is.
Her credit is the girl at the pool.
Yeah, she's in the
I'm
very
serious.
last
That's her credit.
It's literally about the extent of like, hey, I went on The Price is Right. You can see me in the background at timestamp 2342.
To be fair, that worked out really well for Aaron Paul, to be fair.
He was on that? That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, he got almost won, too. That's the thing. He was so close. He would have... Anyway.
Wow. Well, you see her for like a second. I remember that was very disappointing. But the song as a whole was really, really cool. I just wish they would have given her like something with the dance, like, but you could tell it was maybe even they shot it like after they even did the song, and it was just like they edited in like a little
Yeah.
like doing with her hands up in the air. It was so I'm like, that was so not worth all the hype.
Right.
Anyways, but I love that song. That's it.
Okay, so just quickly, final thoughts. I guess I will start. Yeah, honestly, I think this movie is kind of like the height of the DCOM's powers. I'm gonna say this for every DCOM movie. Is it corny as hell? Yes. Is it like a powerhouse in terms of writing? No. But but I mean, it's got an air of nostalgia to it. It's got, I mean, in spite of having kind of a mixed moral, it's got an exuberant kind of happy quality to it. It's one of those sick day type movies you can just turn on and turn your brain off and be like, ah, yes, this is kind of stupid and ridiculous, but pleasing at the same time. And Zac Efron is definitely very charming, Katie. I'll give you that. It's like I said, all the songs are insanely well choreographed, and just overall, I definitely like this, Dragon. I think I'm way more high on this than you are coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically, for me, you're not wrong. Here's the thing: I don't like. I can't really say I dislike it more than I did, because it's not that again, this was the best for me. This is my favorite of the High School Musical movies, and again, I like what I like about it. But the High School Musical era of the DCOM is the story of is kind of the start of the manufactured area for me. And that again, there's kind of a plan, and like, yeah, we're definitely gonna, again, they're at the height of their powers, and they know they're at the height of their powers. Like, okay, we gotta crack these out here, man. We gotta make hay while the sun is shining, sort of mentality. Where it does. It does a lot of business, and it's a pretty simple story. That's the thing. Like, this is a big commodity, and it's pretty simple how we crank these out. Again, it's okay. It's girl and boy have trouble while a lot of people are singing and dancing, and usually it's around school or it's around the summer. But again, all centered around like high schoolers. So that's kind of the demographic there. But you go again. Going into the film specifically, you go in the film for fun, for music, and for the star power. I think this movie does check off those boxes. Give it points in its favor there. There's an audience for it, obviously, and it has its moments, which again I do like those moments, like those Mr. Fulton moments, those Lucas Gabriel moments. Again, the Efron charm, man, it's infectious, man. It's the next. We're gonna have
yeah.
It has its moments, but maybe not enough to really wow me. It's like I go to this before the first one. If I again out of the High School Musical movies, I go to this before the first one. Like basically, if it were like on TV or something, that's sort of like thing I would if it were on TV, I wouldn't go out of my way to seek this. But if we're on TV, it's like, oh hey, look what's on, that sort of thing. It's
Sure.
It's kind of a case of the summer romps, but not a lot else to it. It just looks kind of nice. At the end of the day, it's like, it looks kind of nice. That's about it.
All right, Katie, final thoughts?
Yeah, like when it came out, and I loved it. Obviously, and throughout college, I loved it. I remember, and I loved the soundtrack, and I recently listened to it because I had to drive to San Diego, and I was like, you know what? That'll make the time go by. But yeah, I don't really I used to own it, but I think I've kind of outgrown it.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, if it's on, I would watch it, but yeah, I don't really seek it out anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch
Right.
Zach and Neighbors.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Katie. Any Instagram or anything you want to plug?
Katie Mary Garland. Follow me on Insta.
All right. Okay, and also, Dragon, do you want to hype up the next DCOM-ARAMA?
Do I? Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh my
Go
goodness!
ahead.
So the next DCOM-ARAMA that we're doing here.
No. All right, I think I made my point.
What is happening?
That's my impression of Shia LaBeouf's like action acting. Like
Oh.
Shia LaBeouf's action acting just consists of him going like no.
Katie, please don't encourage.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Do what you're gonna do. But I'd love, for me, it's
No.
anyway. So the
Go
point
ahead,
is,
go
Am I? Oh boy, next DCOM-ARAMA, folks. It's probably the most nostalgic. One of the most nostalgic. Again, we're dead center here, folks. One of the most nostalgic ones we have coming up next year. A movie based on a TV show from the Disney Channel, and it was a movie that I think has touched all of our lives in some way, shape, or form, featuring a lot of talent that's either existing today or ones that are just like, oh man, when their names come up, like, oh man, it's a blast from the past right there. Nostalgic is in the lifeblood of this movie. It's the Even Stevens movie.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. So, yes, that will be fun. Looking forward to that one. Thank you guys so much for the warm reception that these have been getting. Disney Channel original movies have definitely been in the pipeline of stuff I've wanted to do on the channel for a while, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to them. It's been a good time. Yeah.
Yay! You really saw my freak flag fly.
All right. Okay. Well, folks, the party has come to an end, for now at least. But don't you change that channel. We'll be back next time with another original offering from DCOM-ARAMA!
Ba, ba,
Ba,
da,
ba,
da.
ba, da. Yeah, random hallway slide. Whee!